In every crime, there's a reflection. A motive hidden in plain sight. A truth distorted by silence. Welcome to the Forensic Mirror, where psychology meets evidence, and every case reveals more than just what happened, it reveals why.
I am your host, Deja B, and each week we'll dissect the anatomy of guilt, decode the silent patterns, and hold up the mirror to the minds behind the madness. This isn't just true crime, it's truth uncovered. Episode 1: The Catch. Before DNA spoke for the dead, justice relied on confessions, witnesses, and luck. But one case shattered that silence and changed everything. Welcome, listeners. Today, we are going back in time to the quiet, pastoral villages of Narborough and Enderby, nestled in the heart of Leicestershire, England. It's a place of rolling hills, thatched roofs, and close-knit communities. The last place you'd expect a nightmare to unfold. But it did. Our story begins in November 1983, with the discovery of the body of 15-year-old Lynda Mann. She had been essayed and strangled, her body left on a secluded pathway known locally as the Black Pad. The brutality of the act sent a shockwave through the area. Police conducted a massive manhunt. They took statements from hundreds of people. They followed up on every lead. The entire community was a suspect, yet no one fit the profile. The trail went cold. 4 years passed. The horror of Lynda's murder had become a scar on the community's collective memory, a cautionary tale whispered to children. Then, in July 1986, the nightmare returned. Another 15-year-old, Dawn Ashworth, was found brutally essayed and strangled in a similar manner, just a mile from where Lynda Mann's body had been discovered. The police now knew they were dealing with the same individual. The similarities were too striking. A serial killer was living among them. The lead investigator, Detective Chief Superintendent David Baker, was under immense pressure. He had a meticulous investigation team, but traditional methods were failing. The killer was a ghost. They had no eyewitnesses, no strong suspects, and the physical evidence they had was frustratingly limited. But then, a new kind of evidence emerged. One that would forever change the face of criminal justice. A brilliant geneticist at the University of Leicester, Dr. Alec Jeffreys, had recently developed a revolutionary technique. He called it DNA fingerprinting. It was a scientific breakthrough of the highest order, the ability to create a unique genetic profile from tiny biological samples like blood or semen. The chief superintendent took a massive gamble. He approached Dr. Jeffreys with the samples taken from both Lynda Mann and Dawn Ashworth. The results were astounding and chilling. The samples from both crime scenes matched. The same man had committed both murders. The police had a suspect's DNA profile, but they didn't have a name to go with it. This is where the psychology comes in. Faced with a cold case and a faceless genetic profile, the police, in a move that was as unprecedented as the science itself, announced a plan for mass DNA screening. Every man in the 3 villages of Narborough, Enderby, and Littlethorpe, between the ages of 17 and 34, was asked to voluntarily give a blood or saliva sample. Over 5,000 men participated, a testament to the community's desire for justice and the end of their collective fear. It was the largest DNA dragnet in history. And this is where the killer's psychological profile began to take shape. While a staggering number of men lined up to prove their innocence, one man did not. His name was Colin Pitchfork, a married man, a father of 2, working as a baker at the local bakery. Outwardly, he was ordinary, but his mind was far from it. He lived a double life, a common trait among psychopathic offenders. He craved control, power, and violence, but he was also profoundly aware of the consequences. He was not a senseless brute, he was a cunning manipulator. He knew his DNA would link him to the crimes, so he found a way to avoid the test. He convinced a co-worker, Ian Kelly, to impersonate him and provide a sample under his name. Pitchfork, in his mind, had successfully outwitted both the police and the new, terrifying science. His arrogance and belief in his own cleverness was a key part of his twisted psyche, but it was a detail that would be his undoing. Another co-worker, hearing Pitchfork boast about his deception in the pub, came forward with the crucial information. They had overheard him explaining how he had a friend take the test for him. This was the final piece of the puzzle. Police arrested Pitchfork at his home. The initial interrogation was a psychological game of cat and mouse. But when confronted with the evidence, the fact that they knew he had not taken the test and that they had the DNA from the crime scenes, Pitchfork's carefully constructed facade shattered. He confessed to both murders, describing the horrific details of his crimes and his attempts to conceal his identity. He had known, from the beginning, that his DNA was the link. The very thing he tried so hard to escape was the very thing that trapped him. The conviction of Colin Pitchfork was a landmark moment. It was the first time that DNA fingerprinting was used to convict a murderer, and it set a precedent for forensic science around the world. The double helix, that elegant, simple shape of life, became a weapon of justice. The case didn't just capture a killer, it ushered in a new era of crime solving. It was the story of a cold case, cracked open by the hottest new science, and a terrifying psychological puzzle solved with a simple swab.
And so, as we close episode 1, we reflect on a case that forever altered the landscape of criminal justice. The people of Narborough and Enderby endured unimaginable fear and heartbreak, but through innovation, determination, and a groundbreaking leap in science, justice was served. The story of Colin Pitchfork reminds us that evil can hide in plain sight, but also that our collective pursuit of truth and progress can unmask even the most cunning of criminals. DNA fingerprinting didn't just catch a killer, it opened a new chapter where science and psychology work hand in hand to protect our communities. Stay with us for the next episode, where we explore more crime stories across the globe. Thank you for listening.